The European Central Bank is desperately looking for new employees and has now released an ad clip that's almost beyond embarrassing. It's clear here that the ECB and the euro are in the final stretch. Now people don't even want to work at the ECB anymore, and they have to put out these embarrassing clips. We're taking a look at the highly controversial video. We also see U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, who is live on TV during a campaign speech talking about how proud he is to be pushing Bitcoin forward. And he's talking about his Bitcoin portfolio, flexing his Bitcoin miners on stage. That's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. Normally you post Hitachi. With his yacht, his Lambo, his villa, whatever. But Ted Cruz starts talking on stage about his Bitcoin mining devices, how much hash rate they have, and how many mining devices he has, and how cool it all is. And here you can also see that Bitcoin has now fully arrived in the election campaign. You had to lure people in a campaign with all sorts of campaign gifts, like free rides for votes or more social benefits. Now it's, hey, I have 10 Bitcoin, I have 100 Bitcoin, I have 1,000 miners. Politicians are outdoing each other with Bitcoin flexes. And now you have to lure people in the election campaign, hey, I have 10 Bitcoin, I have 100 Bitcoin, I have 1,000 miners. And here the politicians will now try to outdo each other with different Bitcoin flexes, just like OSI is doing at the moment. Trump is always in the running, using. But before we get to Ted Cruz, a speech that I've never seen on live TV before, we actually have to look at the European Central Bank. Because what's going on here is truly alarming and shocking. I don't know, I'm honestly at a loss for words sometimes. There have been several job postings from the ECB looking for employees, and so on. And the question is, let's say, with Bitcoin, you wouldn't theoretically need any employees. That means, in a Bitcoin standard, the ECB would be completely unnecessary. You could just empty the whole operation out. You could simply say, hey, we have a completely decentralized, transparent monetary system, so we don't need any employees. Now, there's actually a clip that surfaced from Nic Carter. He published it, but the original clip is, I think, from Instagram, where the ECB is trying to play it cool. And you can see, it seems like no one wants to work at the ECB anymore. I mean, what could be the reason? Is the euro maybe too weak? I have no idea. Is the inflation too high? I don't know. It definitely seems like the ECB is so unattractive now that they have to release these embarrassing videos. Let me show you the whole thing. Check this out.
Hey besties, it's time to step into your banking supervision era. We're on the hunt for some laid-back trainees to join our ECB crew. This is our trainee Lydia, the CEO of Spreadsheets. Look at how she's flexing. Excel very demure, very mindful, another day, another sleigh. Keeping Europe's banking system safe and sound. Period. Coffee breaks with work buddies from all over Europe hit differently. The U symbol, iconic, she's bringing major character energy all day, assessing the risk profile of a bankero while working from home. It's a big day, full of meetings. Got you a new Delulu. Step outside, touch some grass. We're not like other central banks, we know it. And soon you will too. Much time to hard. Launch your ECB error. Apply today for the ultimate opportunity.
So if this doesn't look like fun, I'll link the address for the ECB down below, so you can actually send in an application. Maybe they'll take you on. But then again, you might be overqualified because, let's be real, you probably only get in at the ECB if you've been brainwashed into thinking, for example, that 2% inflation is fine, or that a flexible money supply is okay. Maybe they'll take you on, but you might also be overqualified because, at the ECB, you probably only get in if you've been brainwashed. If you think, for example, 2% inflation is okay, if you think a flexible money supply is okay. That means you need a certain degree of brainwashing to even be accepted here, because if you're too smart and understand that the central banking system is actually a scam, then you'll probably just be weeded out. But I find it really interesting how they're talking about how you can participate and make the banking system safer to keep it sound. So sound means it stays solid, right? And that's basically the exact opposite of what central banks do. Central bank money was introduced to basically soften the currency, so we have a flexible money supply to manipulate interest rates, and to allow for government bond purchases through the ECB and stuff like that. So what they're saying here has nothing to do with reality. In reality, the ECB and the euro are responsible for us having soft money. Before the fiat money disaster, we had gold-backed money. Back in the day, we actually used pure gold as money, and now we just have all these paper currencies. And I'd say the essence of a paper currency is that it's soft. We used to have pure gold as money, and now we have all these paper currencies. And I'd say the essence of a paper currency is that it's soft. But it's really, really crazy that they're saying we're not like other central banks, like they actually see themselves in competition with other central banks. And you can clearly feel the panic coming through, like, hey, we can't find people anymore. I mean, there's generally a staff shortage or something like that. The funny thing is, I know it from my own experience. I'm no longer involved in a hotel here in Germany, but I'm still in contact with my mother and my sister and can, let's say, tell you about what happened back then. Lots and lots of people always say, hey, we want to work in an innovative Bitcoin company. We want to do something with Bitcoin. That is, Bitcoin is cool. People, if you write Bitcoin on your flag, on your hotel, on your company, then you attract people. And if you apparently write the euro on it, the dollar, then you apparently scare people away that you have to upload such embarrassing videos and have to fight not for votes, but for applications. The last sentence was really, apply today to get ultimate Aura points. So, I don't know what that means. By Aura points, they mean that if you work at the ECB, you can improve your karma. So if what is meant here is that you can improve your karma here at the ECB, then I put 3 or 4 or 21 question marks behind it. It could be that I misunderstood this. Feel free to write in the comments what you understood when they said, apply today to get some ultimate Aura points. I think that could actually be what they mean, that they're saying, okay, you can improve your karma here, like doing some kind of karma yoga or something if you work at the ECB. And then something else sensational happened here. There was a campaign speech in the USA and Senator Ted Cruz, who has long been known as a Bitcoin supporter, spoke about Bitcoin. Check out what he said here.
I've never heard anything like this from a politician either. I'm proud to stand with crypto. I'm proud to stand with Bitcoin. And I am the only member of the United States Senate who is, in fact, a Bitcoin miner. I've got 3 miners hashing in West Texas right now, and it's beautiful. And let me say to all of crypto and all of Bitcoin, come to Texas. Texas is the oasis for Bitcoin using.
I mean, what a crazy time we live in, where we can actually witness things like this, watching Bitcoin completely escalate while the euro is crashing. But one must also be honest and say that what Christine Lagarde and our ECB pros are doing here, Ted Cruz is doing something similar here too. He is also promoting Bitcoin here, but he is trying to get votes, and the ECB is trying to get employees. But I've honestly never seen or heard anything like this before, where a senator gets up on stage and says, hey, I'm the only senator in the US who is also a Bitcoin miner. He's flexing with his Bitcoin mining equipment. That's hard to imagine. I could never have imagined 3 or 4 years ago that we would suddenly see such politicians here. I mean, just check this out. For example, imagine if Robert Habeck or Olaf Scholz got on stage and said, hey, it's 2021, I've got an S miner here. It's crazy what's going, and it's just crazy what's going on here. The exciting times we're living in right now. He then says, we're going to unleash cryptocurrencies. I'm proud to support Bitcoin. I'm the only member of the US Senate who is a Bitcoin miner, which we've already mentioned. And I can proudly say that Texas is an oasis for Bitcoin, and is meant to be an oasis for Bitcoin. Come to Texas because we're creating the best regulations here. We're the ultimate Bitcoin stronghold. And that's basically the intense game theory that's at play here. We got different states in the US battling it out, like, hey, Texas has these awesome benefits. And then the next one chimes in, well, Pennsylvania has even better benefits. And that's how a market for Bitcoin is created. Who has the best legislation? Who has the best laws? Who has the best advantages? Where are the lowest taxes? And that's exactly what Bitcoin needs. And that is exactly the game theory of how you can't get past Bitcoin. You have to promote Bitcoin. If you don't, and you don't get on board with it, you're at a huge disadvantage. Politicians now see Bitcoin's value, and you have to be critical here, because not every politician here is a hardcore Bitcoiner, but they have at least understood that they have to implement Bitcoin in the election campaign, and now it has even arrived in Germany. Christian Lindner gets up on stage and says, hey yo, we are the Bitcoin brothers. Then we have Frank Schaffler, and we've got people in the AfD who are opening up to Bitcoin. Different parties are involved, and soon the ECB will realize it too. Individuals and companies will embrace Bitcoin for their benefit. Politicians are catching on, and major states might support Bitcoin. Central banks may need to adopt Bitcoin to stay relevant. But that's actually the game theory. If we think it through to the end, first come the individuals, Then come companies that open up to Bitcoin because they realize, okay, as an individual I'm better off if I open up. As a company I'm better off if I open up. Now the politicians are getting it, and maybe one day we'll see it at the state level where the big players, not just El Salvador, but really the heavyweights like the US, China, and Russia, officially say, okay, we're pro-Bitcoin now. And I could even see a time when central banks might realize, hey, we need to open up to Bitcoin, or else everyone will just want Bitcoin, and we'll crash and burn, and then we won't have anything left, and no one will want to use the euro anymore. That at least here, yes, maybe the central bank balance sheet is strengthened a little with Bitcoin or something like that, that here too, people are no longer closed to Bitcoin. I definitely think it would be a good step if central banks opened up to Bitcoin. Will it happen? Unclear. Share thoughts. US may follow Europe. Powell won't buy. In the US, it's probably more like in Europe, where Jerome Powell has also said he doesn't plan to buy Bitcoin for the Fed in America. But then Senator Loomis already said that if the Bitcoin Act goes through, the laws in the US will definitely change. And it seems like the Fed could hold Bitcoin too. I don't know what it is, but that was definitely the statement from Senator Loomis. If you want to buy Bitcoin, I'm going to drop a link for you down below. The easiest way to buy Bitcoin in Europe. Here, you can use the code Bitcoin Hotel to get up to 20% off the fees when buying Bitcoin. If you want to accumulate some Bitcoin for Christmas, or maybe give some Bitcoin as a gift, that's a great idea. Giving Bitcoin as a gift is always a cool thing. You buy Bitcoin, give it to your friends, your family, your loved ones. It's actually a great gift, to be honest. Feel free to let me know in the comments below how you're spending the holiday season, what gifts you've received, and what gifts you've given. Did you actually get or give Bitcoin? I wish you a Merry Christmas. We'll definitely see each other. I will definitely be releasing both Bitcoin videos here over the Christmas and New Year periods. I mean, it's relative. I don't know. There's no Christmas spirit here because I'm here, at the pool in 30 degrees.
Look, there's a really crazy Christmas atmosphere here in El Salvador on the beach with all the Christmas lights and all the Christmas trees. No way. Of course, there are no Christmas trees here, just Christmas palms. Then, there are Christmas shells, Christmas sand, and like 2001 Christmas lifeguards. And there are Christmas surfers. What else is there? Yeah, Christmas coconuts, Christmas watermelons, Christmas papayas. Yeah, that's what's going on here in El Salvador at Christmas.
But feel free to write in the comments how things are for you, whether you're totally in the Christmas spirit. See you later. Peace out.